Hi guys, welcome to my video. Today I'll be doing a video about AIT and my experience at AIT and some of the stuff that I wish I had known before I actually got there, and I also have a room tour for you guys. So let's get right into the video. I currently have a list of stuff that I wrote down, so I'm just going to go in order. So the first one is probably like 4 cycles ago, which is like a year. They had platoon sergeants. They don't have platoon sergeants anymore. They have drill sergeants. So it's the same drill sergeants, like basic, same thing. And they will tell you that you have a PT test upon 72 hours of arriving wherever you go to AIT at. But it's not 72 hours because you have like 1 week of in-processing. They have to like bring you to all these briefs and you do a whole bunch of extra stuff. So it's actually 2 weeks. When getting at your AIT, 2 weeks after that, you will do a PT test. And that PT test is not a record PT test, but it does count. So if you don't pass your PT test, if you don't pass that first PT test, you will have to do remedial training every Saturday. When everyone's outside doing weekend stuff, you'll be inside doing CQ. That's for one. That's a punishment. You won't get to use the vending machine. You won't even get your pass. You can still go to the PX, but the drill sergeant would have to escort you to the PX just because you didn't pass your PT test. So I implore everyone to pass their PT test. Do your best. And the good thing about that first PT test is if you get injured at AIT, if you had passed your PT test before the first one, they can give you a waiver to graduate with that first PT test, and you won't have to do a PT test again. And if you're like, I don't know how to say it, not Muslim, but the religious group that does fasting, like if you do your first PT test, and your fasting falls after that date of the second PT test, you don't have to do it again. Does that make sense? So you go to school. So I went to AIT in Fort Lee, Virginia. So if you're quartermaster, everyone goes to Virginia. You go to school every day, every single day. You get up, you go to OCPs is a uniform, so you go to school every single day, Monday to Friday. And on Saturdays and Sundays, the weekend, where you do area beautification and just personal stuff. It's personal time, but it's really not personal time. So there's like 3 passes in AIT. There's a red pass, there's a black pass, and there's also a gold pass. On the red pass, you don't know that you're on a red pass because the drill sergeants, they still take you to the PX. They'll be like, hey, who needs to go to the PX? Downstairs, time now. And then you may not go, but that's your red pass, right? And then the pass after that is your black pass. You go to the PX without the drill sergeants for 3 hours. However, they will be at the PX, at the front of the PX, in the aisles of the PX, waiting for you to buy contraband. They are there. So it's the same thing. And then gold pass, you get to go off post, but it's just for 3 hours, and depending on how many persons are in your company, that's how many time you will get. So like my platoon was like 101 persons in my platoon, and then we had like 5 different platoons. Okay, so and another tip is always remember parade rest. So some people will be talking and they'll feel the need to gesticulate and just do a whole lot of extra stuff while talking to a drill sergeant. Like, you have to remember parade rest. Like, a lot of people got dropped for even saying, oh, drill sergeant, there's something happening over there, and no, you are still at parade rest. Like, you will get into trouble for not going to parade rest. And you think that, oh, that's easy. How hard could it be to go to parade rest? Well, I'm telling you, it's like extremely hard for a lot of people to remember that they need to be at parade rest and you speak to a drill sergeant, not even a drill sergeant, any NCO, anyone that outranks you, you go to parade rest. Unless it's an officer, which you go to the position of attention when you're speaking to them, and that's that. There's no other option. You have to do that. So let's talk about profiles in AIT. They will tell you that you cannot graduate if you are on a profile. There's nothing in TRADOC that supports that point. You can graduate on a profile. So what I would recommend is when you first get to AIT, if you're injured, you know that you have a fracture or your hips hurt or you have shin splints or you got, I don't know, you just hurt and you need time to recuperate, right? Do your PT test. Give it all you have on the PT test. The first PT test that you will get, they say 72 hours, but it's 2 weeks. First 2 weeks, you get a PT test. Give it all that you have on that PT test and then get a profile for about 2.5 weeks. Get a profile for that and then you heal. And then after that, you will have your next PT test coming up and then you do your PT test. You do the second PT test and then you go back on a profile and get off 2 weeks before you actually leave AIT. So the problem with a profile is you can walk the stage and graduate and go to your next duty station if it's stateside. If you are going overseas, you cannot go overseas on a profile. So that's not a good. If you get your orders and it says, oh, stateside, somewhere stateside, then go ahead. You can leave with a profile. But if you're going to like overseas, do not get a profile at the last 2 weeks before graduation because it will not work out. But you can graduate with a profile if you desperately need to heal that much and you don't want to stay back in the system. So you can have injuries that they will tell you that, hey, you need to stay here and be a holdover so you can heal properly. But if you can like work through it and go to your classes, do your training, go to the field, do your PT test, and do all that, I would suggest that you do all of that and then go to your duty station and then fix it there. But if you're injured, get a profile, do your PT test, and just bear through the pain and then leave AIT because you do not want to get stuck there. And then you can get new uniform. You can get new DX uniform. So like, you know the uniforms that you get at reception for basic training and the rest of your career? Everyone knows that the person, when you got the uniform, everyone's uniforms were really big, that they were extremely big. They did not fit one bit. They were just too big and it's not comfortable. And then you do a whole lot of low crawl and a whole lot of extra stuff that makes the uniform winner. Like, I can tell the uniforms that everyone wore at Nick at Night because it has like a permanent sand mark on the upper thighs. Nobody wants to walk around with uniform like that going to your duty station. You look ate up, right? Everyone wants to be squared away. So when you go to AIT, you can ask your drill sergeant. So that's if your drill sergeant is not on top of it already to get you new DX uniforms. And you'll get new resized bottom, new resized top, new PC. And then if you need to change your, they don't do your PTs, but you can get your OCPs done. And you can get new boots, but only if they have the sizes that you want. And then you can get DX dress blues. So if you got dress blues and they were not to your fit or they didn't fit good, because the dress blues are something that are supposed to fit good. They're supposed to be form-fitting, not revealing, but very form-fitting and very neat. So they will get you DX. So you will get new shoes if you have to. Leaving AIT, I would recommend everyone to get their name tapes stitched down. Going to your first duty station, you want to show up looking squared away. I mean, like, hence the fact that from an E1 to an E4, it's an automatic promotion, which means like every 6 months you will be changing your rank. However, it's really simple. All you have to do is take the stitching out if you don't want to pay for it at the alterations place. But all you have to do is take it out and then you stitch in your rank down, but you will look squared away. You will look different compared to the rest of soldiers that still have their name tapes sticked on. I mean, like, you still have, I don't know, E7s with their names not stitched down, but I do feel like it makes you look different. There's like there's small stuff that make you look different from other soldiers. So you want to look squared away when you show up to your first duty station. Hence the fact your PT score. When you show up with a PT score, they should be impressed. And just so you know, your PT score is a part of your promotion points. So that's that. And I'll show you the room tour, but when you see the room, you realize that it's 3 persons per room, and you share a bathroom with a latrine with 3 other persons. So it's like 6 people using one latrine. Yep. And then you do room inspections every Saturday for pass. So imagine 6 different mess in one latrine. You know that it's intense. It's intense. AIT is nothing like college. I don't feel like it was. It reminds me of college when we would go to school and we would get picked up, and then that's about it. You learn like you're in college, and that's about it. You do classes, you do tests, get your results. If you fail, there are consequences. That part is about college, but everything is like basic training. They march you down for chow, they march you back. When someone does something, it's a mass punishment. There's no individual punishment. You get smoked for one person doing the wrong thing. The drill sergeants are the same. They scream at you, they yell at you, they're all up in your faces. Probably the only time you will see a difference is at graduation, when you walk the stage and they shake your hand, and then if they have something to say to you, then they'll say it to you. But that's about the only time. They're not actual drill sergeants, and they're like, you know, they bring it a tone down. So when I say it's definitely like basic training, so the only difference is that you actually learn your MOS, and you march everywhere, you do rock marches, you go to the field, you get a weapon, you have battle drills, you'll get gear, you do CQ, you do AKA Bay Guard, and then area beautification, you do detail at battalion, you get extra duty. Oh, another thing again, your iPro and your glove. Unless you want to spend $72 when you go to AIT to get new iPros, I would advise you to keep your iPro. No one wants to wear their iPro, but I promise you, you're going to need your iPro and you're going to need your gloves. So don't toss your gloves. You will get new iPro and new gloves when you get to your duty station. So toss it after AIT, but keep your iPros and your gloves. You are going to need your iPro and your gloves. And I guess you'll get a lot of sharp briefs about fraternizing. It's real. I promise you. It's real. I mean, like, if you have to fraternize, I don't know. I mean, like, there should not be any room for fraternization, but I'm saying if you have to, don't get caught, because you're getting kicked out, for one. And 2, you're going to regret it. Just saying, you can wait. It's not that long. You can definitely wait. And smoking, vaping. When you go on pass, don't buy a vape. Don't smoke in your room. Don't buy little bottles of alcohol. I'm just saying, you're going to want to do it, and I'm telling you, it's not something you want to do at AIT. In my honest opinion, I feel like it was possible to get away with it in basic training if everyone in the area where you were sleeping would not say something. But AIT is different. It's completely different. I don't know how they know everything, but they know everything without anyone even snitching. As soon as you step outside your room, if you had a camera inside of your room, you would see that drill sergeants are in your room. They do inspections every second, every opportunity they get. I remember this one time, they just called everyone downstairs. They're like, everyone downstairs, time now, get out of there. Do you know what happened? They went upstairs after us. So what happened is they caught us off guard, and all who had snacks in their room, they had to spend a longer time after graduation. And this is after graduation. We graduated and I was a holdover for a minute just because I had to wait for my time to leave. I didn't do anything. You just, when you go overseas, they have to, I don't know, you spend a couple more days than the people who are stateside or who are National Guard or something. So I was there. I was a holdover. We were all holdover. There were like 70 of us, and they called us downstairs and they just went in our rooms, and who had snacks out or who were actively eating snacks, they were in trouble. And I'm just saying that they just find ways to go inside of your room and figure out what's inside of it. They don't search your stuff, because if it's closed, they can't go in it. If you have a lock in your room, they won't touch it unless your code is like 000, then you have a problem. But if it's locked, they won't touch it. If you have contraband, just lock it up. You know, just do the right thing. Okay. And I have you know that you do get a shock attack upon arriving AIT. You get a shock attack. It lasts for around 2 hours if they're feeling okay, or if they don't have all the drill sergeants there. You get a shock attack, just like basic. As I said, it's the exact same thing at basic. You just get a little bit more personal time. That's the only difference. You get a little bit more personal time, and it's easier to cope. For me, AIT was really easy because the first 2 weeks I spent my time learning the pattern, like what time we would get up, when we would run, when our run days, when would we do regular PT, when we would do battalion PT, when is breakfast, when is lunch, when is dinner, what time I go to school, when to iron my uniforms. Well, yeah, I iron my OCPs. I don't know why you would not iron your OCPs, but I iron my OCPs because I feel like it makes me look very squared away. I iron my OCPs. And clean my boots too. Wash them with water and a brush. Oh, another thing again, please get new boots. If you're still at AIT with basic training boots, you are wrong. You are definitely wrong. Well, you can do whatever you want, but just know that when you change your boots, you will realize that basic training probably would have been easier if you were wearing more comfortable boots. When I tell you that those boots are so hard, you won't even know that they're hard until you get new boots and you're like, oh my god, these boots are heavy. This is the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you have questions, you can comment below and I'll definitely answer your questions. If you had suggestions about what you think I should talk about next, I could definitely read your comments and do that, depending on how much people want to see the same thing. And go ahead and share so your friends can see it and like it. So thank you again for watching, and have a wonderful day.